Do you ever feel like no matter how hard you try to connect and share with a man, it's like you're just speaking a different language and he doesn't get it? You're not alone. Today, we're going to talk about 5 keys to communicating better with men. Hi there, Matt Shaffer, your empowerment, connection, and relationship coach here. I'm a former attorney who's committed his life to supporting you and creating the sort of fun, fulfilling, and dynamic connections and relationships with men that you are so worthy of. And I'm really excited about this topic because it's my passion, how to understand the way men think and the way they communicate at a deeper level. And we're going to dive into 5 tips to help you do that. But before we do, take a second, hit that little subscribe button, and don't forget to click the link in the comments and caption. I've created an awesome training that's really going to help you understand and communicate with men more effectively. So before I dive into these 5 tips, I just want to share that men and women fundamentally want the same thing. We want to feel the same degree of connection and the same degree of safety and the same degree of love and relationship, but how we connect and communicate with each other is a little different. So these tips are going to help you understand how men are wired and how they process what you share with them. So the first key in understanding how men communicate better is that men think in straight lines. We think in a linear way. So what does that mean? It means that we think in terms of cause and effect. If we see an effect, if we see you feeling a certain way, we're going to look for the most direct cause of it. We're not going to be looking at different variables. We're very simple creatures. We're looking at things and looking for a direct link. So that's why it's so important to set boundaries with men. Men love blueprints. We love plans. We love to have a specific connection between how we're acting and how you're feeling. So that's why invitations are so powerful, right? Because you want to create a clear path between how you feel, like I would love to feel this, and something we can do to cause it. The quickest way to get between 2 points is a straight line. And if you give men a straight line towards what you want, they're going to understand and they're going to appreciate it deeply. So ladies, give men clear guidance and instructions on what you want and how to make you feel good, and you're going to get much better results in terms of your communication and responses for men. And the second key to understanding and communicating with men is to know that we are fixers and we are going to reflexively want to fix anything you share with us. So if you don't want a man to offer to fix a problem that you're experiencing when you share it with them, for example, you have something going on in your life and you just want him to hold space for you, it's important that you tell him up front, hey, I want to share this with you and I'm not looking for a solution. The way you can really support me is just by listening to me, because men are by default going to want to fix any problem that you share, any pain that you might be experiencing. So kind of in alignment with the last tip, you want to give a man specific instructions, right, on how he should be listening and what you want from him, or else he's just going to want to fix it automatically. And the third key to understand when you're communicating with men is that we are very quick to blame ourselves when you're upset or when you want to talk about feelings. So if you say, hey, I've got some feelings I want to talk about, or you're upset about something, our initial knee-jerk reaction is, oh my gosh, what did I do wrong? I'm in trouble, right? Maybe our mama trauma gets activated because we tend to have a lot of fear around adverse feelings from women. So if you recognize that men are quick to blame themselves and quick to go into shutdown mode and become defensive, it's really important for you to look at the energy that you're bringing to vulnerable shares. Because if you come into a vulnerable share of feelings and you're in a very elevated, upset emotional state, you got to remember that a man is going to reflexively want to shut down. He's going to reflexively be intimidated by that, and he's going to blame himself. So I'm not saying that you can't be in ownership of your feelings, but I am saying that, if you're in a really triggered state, maybe it's better to wait till your emotional barometer goes down a little bit before sharing vulnerably with him, right? Or let him know up front, hey, I'm really upset. I'm not trying to blame you for this, but it's really important that I share this with you. So can you just hold space for me? Another important key to understanding how to communicate with men is that we are very single focus when it comes to communication. And we have a tendency to get lost if you're sharing a story that has a lot of moving parts, a lot of different people involved, especially if we don't have direct relationships or connections to those people. Because for a lot of men, social dynamics, especially between women, are alien to us. If you have a story that you want to tell a man and it involves the inner workings of relationships between a lot of different women or a lot of different people that he may not know, you want to ground him in why this story is important to you, give him some context around it, help him understand why it's very important that he pay attention, and maybe let him know a little bit about the people that are involved so that he can connect with it, because men are not going to be as interested just in what he said to her and how she felt about it, unless they feel like they've got some context and that they've got something at stake in that story. And the last important thing to understand when you're communicating with a man is that men, we often feel like baby giraffes when it comes to talking about emotions, right? How does a baby giraffe look when a baby giraffe initially starts taking those first steps? It's wobbly, it's uncertain, it isn't sure of what its next steps are going to look and feel like, and all it's trying to do is stay up on its feet. And so when a man is talking about emotions, especially if he doesn't have a lot of experience doing it, he's going to feel wobbly, he's going to feel unsure of himself, and it's going to be really important for you to encourage and invite him and make him feel safe by leading with vulnerability and comforting him and encouraging and inviting him and letting him know that this is a judgment-free zone. So if you can remember these 5 keys to communicating with a man, you're going to be able to connect with him on an entirely different level. The first key being that men think in straight lines. We are very linear. We are very A to B. So the more direct you can be in your guidance and your instructions and in your requests from us, the more effective communication is going to be and the more he's going to appreciate it. Secondly, we want to fix problems. We want to fix pain by default. So when you want to share vulnerably with a man, if you're not looking for a fix, let him know. Tell him what it is that you want. Thirdly, we're quick to blame ourselves for your feelings or for whatever's going on in your life. So if you have a lot of emotion coming up for you, make sure that you let him know that it's not his fault. Make sure you let him know that you're not trying to attack him and that you just have something to share. Take that pressure and blame off him up front, and you'll definitely diffuse his tendency to put his walls up and shut down on you. Fourth, men are single focus, and we can get lost in your stories if there's a lot of moving parts or a lot of people that we aren't connected to. So recognize men are not experts at human dynamics, and we oftentimes don't really understand them, especially when they're between women. So ground a man. If you have a complicated story to tell him, ground him in why it's important beforehand and let him know important details, right, about the people that are in it so he can fully understand what's happening and follow along. And lastly, men are baby giraffes oftentimes when it comes to talking about feelings and emotions. We lack a lot of the emotional agency that women have because we're not that experienced in it. So recognize this and honor this and encourage a man if he is being vulnerable, if he's trying, even if he's not doing a great job of talking about his feelings, if he's making an effort, encourage him and acknowledge him for that, and really go out of your way to create a safe space and let him know that no matter what his feelings are, that he's not going to be judged for them, and it's okay for him to share what's coming up. So I hope you get out there and use these keys to create deeper, more meaningful connections and communication with men. And if you like this video, take a second, hit that little subscribe button, and don't forget to click the link in the comments and caption. I have created a great training that's really going to help you in your connections and relationships with men. Thanks so much, and I'll see you next time on my YouTube channel. Bye-bye.